Hey there, welcome to This Explainer. Today, I'm stepping into the role of your personal financial coach. We're going to build a highly sustainable, multi-decade blueprint for your wealth, your health, and your overall happiness. You know, a lot of people look at retirement simply as an end date, like this finish line you just stumble across after decades of hard work. But the absolute most successful retirees, they view it as a starting line. We need a game plan, and that really requires blending the hard, mathematical strategies with the deeply emotional transition of stepping into your next chapter. So let's dive into the very first step.
Here's the absolute very first question I ask any client. What are you retiring to? Seriously, rather than just running away from the stress of a career, I really want you to start thinking about the daily purpose and the narrative of this entirely new chapter. Retiring into literally nothing can feel incredibly empty and disorienting. You need a reason to get out of bed that has absolutely nothing to do with a paycheck.
To get us there, we're going to build your blueprint across 5 core pillars: crafting your retirement vision, mastering your spending buckets, avoiding 7 wealth thieves, outpacing long-term inflation, and protecting your financial fortress.
All right, let's jump right into Pillar 1, crafting your retirement vision. Stepping away from work triggers a massive identity shift. I mean, your title, your schedule, your primary social network, they all change practically overnight. To combat this, creating a retirement vision statement and maintaining structured social and physical routines are non-financial habits that will drastically increase your well-being. Think about this. According to the Harvard study of adult development, retirees who build a structured daily routine report 40% higher life satisfaction. Furthermore, Stanford research actually highlights that social connection cuts depression risk by a whopping 50%, and just 20 to 25 minutes of daily exercise cuts chronic illness risk by 30%. So write down your vision statement, share it with your spouse to make sure you aren't living parallel lives, and treat your health and your social calendar with the exact same respect you gave your work meetings.
Moving right along to Pillar 2, mastering your spending buckets.
Now, to support that vision you just created, we first have to acknowledge the silent danger of lifestyle creep. Also known as lifestyle inflation, this is the really subtle phenomenon where increased discretionary income leads to former luxuries suddenly being perceived as absolute necessities. It's a trap, really. It can quickly drain your resources if you try to maintain a flashy image instead of actual wealth. As your financial coach, I need you to recognize that wealth isn't about what you spend to impress others. It's about the security and the options you retain for yourself. So how do we fight lifestyle creep? We use bucketing. Separating your mandatory expenses, your housing, healthcare, and groceries, from your flexible, discretionary spending like travel, dining, and hobbies gives you total control. Think of it like this. If the market suddenly pulls back, which, let's face it, it will, you know exactly which discretionary levers you can pull to safely reduce your withdrawal rate without risking your basic standard of living.
Just look at this T. Rowe Price data trend line right here. It reveals that inflation-adjusted spending naturally declines by 2% annually as retirees age. It's pretty fascinating, actually. High net worth retirees intuitively preserve their assets by letting their non-discretionary spending naturally drop off and adapting it to their guaranteed income as they get older. They aren't constantly escalating their lifestyle. They're finding genuine comfort and security in sustainability. Okay, on to Pillar 3, avoiding 7 wealth thief.
Wealthy retirees literally refuse to buy these 7 things. They skip the brand new vehicles, they say no way to extended warranties on toaster ovens, and they avoid dropping $50,000 on trendy home renovations that'll just look dated in 5 years anyway. They also ignore luxury status goods and wildly expensive hobbies in favor of lasting quality and practically free activities like gardening or hiking. They definitely steer clear of percentage-based financial advisors. But the biggest one? Well, actually, the silent thief is emotional purchases. Shopping just because you're bored or anxious is a massive drain on your wealth.
Let's put some numbers to this to really put it in perspective. 10 grand. You literally lose $10,000 in depreciation the absolute minute you drive a shiny new $65,000 SUV off the lot. This is exactly why the true millionaire next door buys certified pre-owned vehicles. They just let someone else take that huge depreciation hit and they comfortably drive that reliable car for the next 10 to 15 years.
And how about this one? $500,000. That is how much a seemingly tiny 1% advisor fee can silently skim from $1 million nest egg over 25 years when you factor in lost compound growth. That is wild, right? This is why paying a flat fee or hourly fiduciary for a comprehensive plan is often a much smarter, way more sustainable choice to ensure that money stays in your pocket, not someone else's.
Which brings us to Pillar 4, outpacing long-term inflation.
Here's the absolutely crucial point. While I know it's incredibly tempting to move everything into cash or bonds just to avoid market volatility, you absolutely must maintain equity investments to outpace long-term inflation. If your money is essentially just sitting entirely in cash, its value might feel stable day to day, but its true purchasing power will steadily suffocate over time. Stocks are literally the oxygen your portfolio needs to survive a multi-decade retirement.
Check out this PGIM research. It completely updates the old 4% rule.
because you have that built-in spending flexibility from the buckets we discussed earlier, plus guaranteed income like Social Security, modern models show you can safely start with a dynamic withdrawal rate of around 5%, or even higher depending on your age and flexibility. It's just a much more responsive, realistic way to fund your lifestyle without the constant fear of running out of money.
Finally, we hit Pillar 5, protecting your financial fortress.
To secure your plan against external threats, we have to face a pretty staggering reality here. In 2024 alone, Americans over 60 lost $3.4 billion to scams. Hackers and scammers explicitly target retirees because, well, they know that's where the nest eggs are. As your coach, I am telling you right now that we need to treat your accounts like a highly secure vault, starting today.
So I want you to take these 3 immediate technological steps right now to thwart scammers and completely lock down your digital financial life. Turn on multi-factor authentication for every single financial account. Use a secure password manager so you aren't reusing the same weak passwords everywhere. And freeze your credit with the major bureaus. It's totally free, and it essentially blocks identity thieves from opening accounts in your name.
But protecting your fortress also means taking care of the legal side. You must update your estate documents, your will, your power of attorney, and your healthcare directive. And please remember this absolutely vital rule. Your beneficiary designations on IRAs, 401ks, and life insurance policies actually override whatever is written in your will. You have to make sure those designations perfectly match your current wishes so your family is fully protected.
Now, maintaining this whole fortress, it requires one final piece of the puzzle: emotional discipline. Honestly, the biggest threat to your retirement isn't the stock market, and it isn't inflation. The biggest threat is you on a random Tuesday feeling a little anxious and making a drastic portfolio change or a huge emotional purchase. Emotional discipline means you take a breath, you pause before reacting to scary headlines, and you completely trust the blueprint we built together.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a coaching question to really ponder. If you were to look back 5 years from today, what daily choices would make you proudest of your true wealth? True wealth isn't just a high account balance. It's a life filled with purpose, connection, and health. Ask yourself how you can best align your resources right now with the joyful life you want to lead tomorrow. The answer might just completely change how you spend your very next dollar. Thanks so much for letting me be your coach today. Now let's go start building your blueprint.